Well, a disgusting New York City play depicting the president brutally assassinated, all while being funded with your taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, we've been covering this all morning. Here to weigh in, Fox News contributor and Town Hall political editor Guy Benson. Good morning, guys. So we'll get some of the facts out here up front. This is Shakespeare in the Park. It's partially taxpayer funded. It also has corporate sponsors. And this play, which is about Julius Caesar, portrays someone who, they don't say it's President Trump, but in the images you can tell they're trying to depict someone who looks like President Trump. And all those attacking him and knifing him are either minorities or women. What statement are they making here, and how inappropriate is it?
Well, it's not a subtle statement, and it's obviously supposed to be Trump. And apparently his wife in the play, the character's wife in the play, has a Slavic accent. So it's very clear what they're doing here. My reaction when I saw this story was threefold. First, this is so incredibly sort of in poor taste that I'm surprised they haven't cast Kathy Griffin, frankly, in the production, because it seems like there would be some synergy there. Secondly, I'm not a big fan generally of this tendency in America where we're trying to escalate the outrage and the boycotts over speech that we don't like. I think there are certain lines. This is probably right near that line. But again, I'm wary of pounding the outrage drum over everything. But finally, and this is the third piece that I'm genuinely curious about, what do liberals like Paul Krugman at the New York Times have to say about this? Because I remember a couple years ago with that horrible shooting of Gabrielle Giffords, the Democratic congresswoman in Arizona, by a schizophrenic who turned out to be apolitical, just obsessed with her. Paul Krugman wrote this column, and a bunch of liberals echoed this sentiment, which was, this is conservative speech, it's a climate of hate, this is the problem in America.
Well, and it's a fair point, and you point out the mental disorder. Dan Bongino, a former Secret Service agent, was on earlier warning about just that it can inspire others who may be on the verge of a violent act to act in this way. By the way, as far as the corporate sponsors are concerned, Delta is among them, Delta Airlines, among others, American Express, Bank of America. Delta's been actively responding to all of this morning. They're concerned. They tweeted this: while Delta is a longtime sponsor of the highly respected public theater, we do not condone this interpretation of Julius Caesar at this summer's free Shakespeare in the Park festival. So they tweeted that this morning, and Guy, it looks like they're continually addressing those that are concerned. On their Twitter page, you can see they're responding to those who are writing in.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, this is a play put on in Central Park in New York City that very obviously depicts the assassination of a U.S. president, the sitting U.S. president. And I know they say, oh, it's art and there's other messages here and we're being tongue-in-cheek and it's not advocating violence. I understand all of that. But what people sitting there watching is Donald Trump getting stabbed to death, right?
Well, yeah.
And
by women and minorities, by the way. All the actors that you see there are women and minorities.
The ones doing the stabbing are women and minorities.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not an accident, right? And sort of all this symbolism here.
And you remember when President Trump continues to push a budget that he says is a taxpayer budget. This is taxpayer funded. The National Endowment for the Arts and others are sponsors of this. I mean, is this not a responsibility for the public to say, if you're going to use our dollars to depict the assassination of our president, we're not going to stand for that?
Yeah, and I don't understand, like, I'm thinking also back, because you start going in your mind saying, where have I seen things like this before? And I mentioned the Kathy Griffin allusion earlier in the piece of humor that she did a couple days ago. When President Bush was in office, there was a movie that premiered in Cannes in France, in which I believe the movie was called The Assassination of a President, and it depicted President Bush being assassinated. And, like, I just don't understand what the fixation is with basically assassination porn on the left, where they take figures that they don't like, who are still duly elected by the American people in a free country, and saying, well, we're unhappy with what they're doing in policy X, Y, and Z. It's totally chill for us to come out here and show them getting killed because it's art. And you just have to stop and ask, and I know you don't want to always play whataboutism, but if some show depicted Barack Obama as president getting assassinated, there would be a massive outcry.
Yep.
All right, Guy Benson, thanks for coming this morning.
Guy.